1978. Disco was at its peak. The golden age of video games began with the introduction of Space Invaders. And the Yankees beat the Dodgers 4-2 in the World Series. As usual, Topps issued a set of baseball cards. And I have a bunch of packs from 1978. Now this is a mix of wax packs and these holiday packs. Now these, I want to mention a few things. First of all, I bought, this is a lot of 5 holiday packs. Here's a lot of 20. And the last several of these have a Hall of Famer showing. I'm going to save those for last. And I have these 4 wax packs are not in great shape. I think they're authentic. I don't know. That would be kind of a I don't know. It would seem kind of dumb to open a pack. Open a pack and take cards out and put them back into a pack that was kind of rough. Now that also means that the corners of the cards might be kind of rough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these first 5 holiday packs, then I'm going to open the wax packs, then we'll open the rest of the holiday packs. Now in 1978, there are 3 really big cards. There's the Eddie Murray rookie card, the Paul Molitor and Alan Trammell rookie card. There's also 2 other players on that card. And also the Nolan Ryan from this year is worth quite a lot in high grade. In PSA 10, those cards can be $10,000 or more. More like many hundreds of dollars in PSA 9. Also, the Jack Morris rookie card, which I actually already pulled from a 1978 pack quite a while ago. That card was quite a bit tilted. The image was quite a bit tilted. Also, we have the Lou Whitaker rookie. Those are on those 4-person rookie prospect cards. Whitaker's not a Hall of Famer, but he may very well be. And of course, there's the usual. We have a lot of Hall of Famers in this era, anyway. All right, so let's get to it. So this pack has all Yankees in the front, and we'll take a look at the design of the cards here with the first bunch. Now, I don't know how great a shape these cards are going to be in, whether the corners are going to be in really good shape or not. We'll see. So I will zoom in a little bit now. So we start out with Greg Nettles, Pete Mackinnon, Steve Rogers, and Ron, I don't remember what that's called, pronounced Bloomberg or Blomberg. I think it's maybe pronounced Bloomberg. The back of the card, it's kind of interesting because they had a game on the back. And probably this game led to a lot of 1978 cards not being in great shape that were circulated. Now I mentioned in another video that probably my first baseball card collecting at all was probably Kellogg's and Hostess cards that came with in cereal boxes and on snack boxes. But I think 78. I think I may very well have been collecting more regularly at that point. The game on here is you have different outcomes, and you basically shuffle up, have a deck of cards, deck of cards, shuffle them up, and they have different outcomes. Here we have 2 home runs. Now, the thing about these holiday packs is that supposedly there's a legitimate shot at getting stars in here. And that's even more the case if these were packed in 78, because no one would have been sure that, say, Eddie Murray was going to be a huge star, or Molitor and Trammell, that card was going to be worth a lot. So there's a legitimate shot at stars, so we'll see what happens here. So we have Dick Tidrow, Odell Jones, Doyle Alexander, and Jim Norris. Ron Guidry would be considered, I think, would be considered a star card. Not sure whether it has any value premium. Corners on that are kind of soft. Jerry Mumphrey, Charlie Spikes, and Doug Rader, eventually a manager. this is an interesting thing I've noticed on cards from this era. Topps uses the term Grand Slammer. And I don't remember a Grand Slam being called a Grand Slammer. I think that language kind of phased out from the late 70s into the early 80s as I got more interested in baseball. Not sure about that, but it's an interesting thing because a lot of these older cards will say Grand Slammer, not just a Grand Slam. Okay, this one had Dodgers on the front. We've got Dusty Baker. I don't know why there's always a card backwards here. I guess this is the way they packed them. We got Mike Ivey, Bruce Bochy, and Pat Zachary. Okay, Rick Monday on top. Rance Mulliniks, Tommy Boggs, and Wayne Garland. That card looks like it has a wax stain on it. And that's, you know, where these packs would have came from. These are not official Topps packs. These were repacks. A third party presumably got cards out of packs and may very well have taken the really big stars of the time and then repackaged these. Steve Yeager, Mike Garman, Gary LaVelle, that one's kind of creased, and the backwards card, Paul Lindblad. So definitely not getting anything interesting yet. Now again, I do have some Hall of Famers showing in that larger batch of 20, so don't worry, we will get some good cards. Jim Clancy, Mike Norris, Vic Harris, and Ron Hodges. Ron Fairley, previously with the Dodgers, Gene Richards, Dave Rader, and Pete Broberg. Now, this is one of the interesting things here is that we know that the rookie prospects and rookie stars cards are very often, those players don't go on to greatness, but even sometimes the rookie cup cards don't make a big impact, like Jerry Garvin. Gene Garber, Tim Foley, and Mike Torres, who had some pretty good years in the 70s. Again, as you can tell, there are 12 cards in the pack, so half of them are showing and half of them are hidden in the center of each of the cells. Rick Auerbach, Cecil Cooper, Jerry Morales, and Omar Moreno. That's fairly early in his career. Again, this pack has reds on the front. That was kind of the way these were picked out. We're having all one team on the front. So Jack Billingham, that one's got wax stain. Ken Forsch, Ron Reed, and Bump Wills, another rookie cup card. And another one that didn't become a big star. Bill Bonham, Don Carruthers, Clay Carroll, and Don Baylor. It's not too bad. Probably not a big premium for Don Baylor, but good hitter during that time. Okay, we've got Cubs on the front here. With Manny Trio. Henry Cruz, Dyer Miller, and John Verhoeven. So with onto our fifth pack here, this will be 60 cards. No Hall of Famers yet. John Wathan, Will McInerney, McInerney, I don't know. Mike Jorgensen and Woody Fryman. I just had a long hour and a half Zoom meeting for work, so I'm a little out of it. Roy Howell, Steve Busby, Steve Ontiveros, and Gary Maddox. Okay, so nothing real special out of the first 60 cards, 1978, from the holiday packs. Okay, so now we get to the wax packs. And the hope here is that these are in, cards are in better condition than the packs. Not even sure whether I'm going to save these wrappers. Now this opened very easily, so which may be good or bad. Well, there we go. Right on, it's got a wax stain, but right there off the top we get a Hall of Famer, Tom Seaver. So I think there's a good chance that this is this at least hasn't been tampered with. The card's not in great shape, but the gum, not going to eat that gum. That gum is probably not in great shape. All right, Tom Seaver, Ron Fairley, we already had him. Jose Baez, Steve Swisher, Gary Templeton, Ken Holtzman, Danny Martinez, the Cubs team card. And for some reason the Cubs team cards of this era, they were always these individual portraits instead of a group picture. I don't know why. Tippy Martinez. So we got Denny and Tippy. The final checklist. Gary Thomason, Rob Sparing, Braves team card, and Bernie Carbo. Now, what I want to do here is I want to take my glasses off and get up close here with the Tom Seaver. The corners on that aren't too bad. Again, the wax stain is, it's not going to be it's not a great condition card. Let's see, Ken Holtzman in here. So, actually, despite the pack being kind of ragged, these cards are actually in pretty decent shape. So, that's certainly encouraging. Okay, again, this one, well, I did rip that one, so this wasn't, it's still pretty easy to open. And we get Don Money. And that pack is, I ripped that pack, so I won't save that one. I'm not sure whether I'm going to save these or not. I have some 78 wrappers. Don Money with the wax stain. Pete Rose. Okay, that's another valuable card in the set. And that one's in pretty good shape, so we're not doing too bad here. Ed Kirkpatrick, excuse me. Big sneeze. All right, Gary Maddox. We had him. Mike Schmidt. Now, at this point, I have to say that we have a Mike Schmidt showing on one of the holiday packs. So, here's a Mike Schmidt in the wax. A little bit of corner damage, but otherwise a pretty good card. This was here in his career where Schmidt had hit 38 home runs 3 years in a row, and he got his batting average up to 274 at that point. 78 would be the year, well, 76, 77, and 78, the Phillies made it to the National League Championship Series and lost all 3 times before they finally won it in 80 and won the World Series. John Montague, I want to put Schmidt on top. John Montague, Darryl Thomas, Red Sox, Don Zimmer. This is the manager card for Don Zimmer. It has his playing stats. Larry Sorensen, Yankees, manager card for Billy Martin. That's his playing record there. Frank Duffy, Rudy May, Charlie Spikes, and Dave Rader, who we already had. So not bad, not bad at all. 2 Hall of Famers. And like I said, we'll have for sure about 5 or 6 Hall of Famers at the end of this stack of 60. And this pack's again kind of in rough shape. Don't know whether I'll save the wrapper or not. Rick Waits, really bad wax stain. Chuck Scrivener, Jim Willoughby, Bob Boone, Bob Shirley, Terry Whitfield, Jim Colburn. Oops, flip this around. Dennis Blair, Vic Harris, I think we already had him. Bob Davis, Jeff Bird, Herman Frank's manager card for the Cubs, Nellie Briles, and Raleigh Eastwick. So nothing too special in that pack. Okay. Jerry Remy with the wax stain. Wax stain on these are pretty significant. Bigger than, much more significant than any of the wax stains on the cards that came out of the holiday packs. Okay, Roy White, Par Hartzell, Tucker Ashford, Bill Bonham, Phil Garner, Alan Bannister, Lyman Bostock. This is an interesting one because during the 1978 season, Lyman Bostock got murdered by accident. He was in a car, basically in the wrong place at the wrong time, and was murdered during the season. And he was a heck of a player. He was having another good year in 78, but 1977 he hit .336. So he had 36 doubles, 12 triples, 14 home runs, scored over 100 runs. He was on his way to possibly a really great career, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Elias Sosa, Mike Barlow, Henry Cruz, the Expos team card, Buzz Capra, and Royal Stillman. Okay, so that's the so those are the wax packs, and so we've got a Schmidt and a Seaver out of those. Let me just kind of leave the Schmidt here. Leave that. Actually, let me do this. Let's put Schmitty up there. Okay, so now we've got 20 more of these. 20 more of these holiday packs. So just gonna go through these here. Again, we're gonna hope that we get some more Hall of Famers. Like I said, we are for sure gonna get some Hall of Famers here later on in these packs. Vic Harris. Oops, these are okay. Scott McGregor, Bob McClure, and Clarence Gaston, or Cito Gaston, who eventually managed. Speaking of managers, we have Bobby Cox on the front here. Larry Milburn, Elias Sosa again, and Lamar Johnson. So we're definitely striking out so far in the interiors of these holiday packs. So it's hard to know exactly. Let me try the other side here. Hard to know exactly what cards might have been taken out in putting those packs together. Well, I'm not having much luck on that one. Okay. Ron Gilbreth. Oops. Mike Lum. Vic Davalio. And Tim Hosley. So not... oops. Doesn't help if I knock them all over the table. So not off to a good start on these. Oops. All right. Bob Stinson, Tom Hutton, Juan Bernhardt, and Steve Mingori. Darrell Johnson, manager. Bill Campbell, Bob Davis, and Johnny Walkenfuss. Okay. Oh, open up there. Goodness. All right. Craig Reynolds, Bill Fahey, Fred Kendall, and Junior Moore. Well, if these don't have a star showing, these holiday packs are definitely not doing particularly well. However, it's been claimed by people that you can pull big stars possibly out of these. Tim Johnson, Dave Roberts, Will McEnany again, and Art Howe. Those classic Astros colorful unis. Tim Blackwell, J.R. Richard, okay, and I knew that was coming. We'll come back to him. Johnny Grubb and Mike Caldwell. So J.R. Richard, this is when well, I say early in his career. Of course, his career didn't last too much longer after this. He played 2 more full seasons, 78 and 79, and then 1980 he was off to a great start, and then he had a stroke in the middle of the season on the practice field, and that ended his major league career. He did make it back to the majors minors a couple years later, but never made it back to the majors. And I know he had some hard luck later in his life as well. Chris Spire, Doc Medic, Jim Kern, and Rob Andrews. That card is creased, damaged. Glenn Abbott, Jim Spencer, Dave Frieselben or Freiselben, and Pat Scanlon. Daryl Johnson manager card. I think we already had that one. For some reason they wanted to put these in backwards. Doyle Cleveland Alexander, as I like to call him. Mario Mendoza, the origin of the Mendoza line, hitting 200. You can see here is 221, 180, 185, 198. He did finish over 200 for his career. Roy Howell. Of course, these days people might want to call it the Chris Davis line instead of the Mendoza line. Larry Milburn, Steve Yeager, Bob Stanley, and Jim Spencer. So again, we do have some Hall of Famers coming up here. So yeah, we're kind of we're getting all commons here, but that will change. Buddy Schultz, Clay Carroll, Juan Bernhardt, and Tom Hutton. So we're getting a fair number of repeats in here. Oh, sorry about that. Vern Rapp, manager. Jeff Bird, Bobby Grich, some corner damage. Very solid player. Eduardo Rodriguez. Eric Rasmussen, Dave Heaverlow, Dave Collins, and Fred Kendall. Not sure what the idea on that, why the cards are, when that one card is always reversed. Okay, now we've got another, got some more one team packs here. This is the Yankees pack with another Ron Guidry. Vic Davalio again, Bruce Bosclair, and Milt May. I said some of these cards are in pretty good shape. Some of them, the corners are soft. I think the cards that came out of the wax packs were probably overall in better shape, even though the packs themselves were kind of rough. Juan Beniquez, Ken Macha, Cliff Johnson, and Barry Bonnell. Fran Healy, Bill Lee, the Spaceman, Larry Parrish, solid player, and Hector Cruz, miscut. Okay, now we've got a Phillies. Phillies on the top here. with Greg Luzinski, All-Star. Rorick Harrison, Bo McLaughlin, and Jerry Remy, who we've already had. Okay, another Phillies here. We got Warren Brewster on top. Come on. Jim Mason, Kevin Bell, and Terry Forster. All right. And another Philly pitcher. We've got Randy Lurch, Joe Sambito, Glenn Adams, and Bruce Bhakti, we've had before. Notice that's Bruce Bhakti, not Bruce Bochy. Now we do have a decent card here. We'll get to that in a second. Pat Rocket, Tim Corcoran, Gary Bear, and Bombo Rivera. Okay, so we've got, of course, Pete Rose had a lot of record breaker cards in the 70s and 80s. This is his record breaker for most hits by a switch hitter. That card's damaged, unfortunately. That gave him 2,966 hits as a switch hitter, and Frankie Frisch held the old record. Robin Yount. Okay, there we go. That's a good one. Buddy Bell, Jerry Morales. All right, Robin Yount. Now this is his fourth year card, so this is not super valuable, but it's the first Hall of Famer we've pulled out of the middle of any of these. Card's in pretty good shape. Corners aren't perfect, a little off center, but nice early career Robin Yount card. So that's pretty cool. This one also has the instructions for the play ball game. Player has 50 player cards. Toss coin for who goes first. First player turns cards over one at a time, attempting to score runs until three outs have been made. Sorry. After 3 outs, second player begins. Game is played with 9 innings. In case of tie, play extra innings. Don't know how you get to choose the player cards. I don't know whether you get to stack the deck and just put whatever you want. Try to get all the home runs, and not quite sure how that's supposed to go. Okay, Paul Russell, Bill Russell, Jason Thompson, and Billy Smith. Okay, this one's an all-manager front here with Darrell Johnson, Bobby Cox, and Al Dark. Okay, and we've got, again, that one. We'll put that one backwards for some reason. Glenn Abbott, we've had him. Larry Milburn and Elias Sosa, we've had. Okay, again, backwards. Jim Clancy, Bob Nepper, and Rob Andrews. So we're getting back to the mediocre stuff in the middle, but again, we're getting closer to these Hall of Fame packs down here. Get this out. There we go. Okay, Dave Cash, Lamar Johnson, and Bob Apodaca. Okay. Sparky Lyle, record breaker, most games pure relief, lifetime. An odd record. It's odd because, okay, so he had pitched in 621 games and never started, but that's not, I'm not sure it's anything to brag about that you never considered a start good enough to start, but Sparky Lyle was a fine pitcher. in any case. So there's Lemon Bostock again, Mike Barlow, and Rough Tough Charlie Huff. Okay, Buck Martinez, Fernando Arroyo, Oscar Gamble, and Ed Figueroa. We got a leaders card. It's probably the least important leaders card, although in some years, soon we would start seeing some really great players on the stolen base leaders. Here we've got, okay players. Frank Tavares and Freddie Patek. Ed Herman, there's Vic Davalillo again, and Craig Swan. Now we got a Hall of Fame manager here, of course, Earl Weaver. I may very well miss Hall of Fame managers because I don't really care that much about managers. Merv Rettenman, Jim Todd, Juan Bernhardt again. There's our Earl Weaver. Doug Bird, Jim Mason, and Claudel Washington. Okay, and yet another manager card. Another Darrell Johnson that we've seen. Phil Mankowski, and that card's in that's in pretty poor shape. Chris Knapp and Jim Colburn. A big pile of stuff over there. Okay, so here we've got an all Pirates. Still not quite to the run of Hall of Fame players. Rennie Stennett, only player ever to go 7 for 7 in a 9-inning game. Pretty incredible feat. Charlie Spikes, Larry Parrish again, and Spaceman Bill Lee again. Stennett in that game had, it was a blowout win. The Pirates, I can't remember who they played, but they won like 22-0 or something ridiculous. But Stennett had 4 singles, 2 doubles, and a triple. He wasn't really a power hitter, so he missed his chance at getting a cycle. Jerry Royce had a solid career, better known for pitching for the Dodgers not long after this. Bruce Bhakti again. Vic Davalillo, that's 4 of those, I think. So there are some common themes running through here for sure. Odell Jones. Cecil Cooper, Henry Cruz, and Buck Martinez again. So certainly getting a lot of repeats. Now here we go with some Tigers. Milt May, Ross Grimsley, Earl Williams, and Kiko Garcia. Ralph Houck, manager. Managing the Tigers then. Rick Monday, Lee Mazzilli, and Andre Thornton. He was mostly a DH, but solid hitter. Aurelio Rodriguez, Pat Rocket, Ike Hampton, and Roger Freed. More managers. Darrell Johnson, Jeff Burrows, Damaged Corners, Buzz Capra, and Jim Hughes. Okay, here's our Bobby Cox manager card. John Hale, Roy Howell, Bill Atkinson. They were very, very close to the Hall of Famers that are Hall of Fame players that are showing. Chuck Tanner, Jim Mason, Bill Fahey, and Doyle Alexander again. Yeah, it's the next one down as we start our run of Hall of Famers that are showing. Billy Ullman, Bill Lee again, Odell Jones again, Bill Castro, I think probably again. And we got another Alvin Dark manager card. Don Kirkwood, Bob Nepper, Larry Parrish, and trying to hide the next pack there. Bob, Don't Call Me Shirley, Rob Andrews, Joe Sambito, Craig Swan. Okay, now I am going to hide these a little better. So we start this one out. We got an all-star here. An all-star Ron Say, Mike Paxton, Gerald Knowles, Bo McLaughlin, Dave Skaggs, Al Cowens, Cecil Cooper again, and Milt May. A big pile here. Okay, and now we're going to get our Hall of Famer from this pack. We've got Jim Palmer, and that card looks to be, that's a pretty good looking card. Yeah, it's a pretty sharp looking card and well centered. So that's a nice one. He was an all-star that year. Of course, this is during his streak. This is he had won 20 games 7 out of 8 years, and then he would win 20 games again in '78. So he was in the prime of his career, the end of the prime of his career. Sixto Lascano, Kiko Garcia again, and Dave Freiselben. Okay. We actually have the same Hall of Famer on 2 different cards in this pack. I cut it better. Oops. That's right. So we got Rod Carew on the front. He was an all-star that year, as many years there. Now, '77 was his career year. That was the year he hit .388. 38 doubles, 16 triples, 14 home runs, 128 runs scored, 100 runs batted in, won the MVP. What I like to do with triples is divide the triples in half and add half to the doubles and half to the home runs to get a better feel. So that would be 46 doubles and 22 home runs for some perspective. John Scott, Dyer Miller, and Ted Martinez. Now we also have batting average leaders, and of course I already gave away that it was the year Carew hit .388, so he won the batting title by a long shot. So number 2 was Rennie Stennett, who we already, number 2 in the National League we had Dave Parker, Rennie Stennett. Number 2 in the American League, who we already had, was Lyman Bostock. That gives you some idea of just how good he was. Stan Bonson, Willie Hernandez, and Ed Goodson. And our little stack of Hall of Famers there. Okay, and for the third cell, so we had a Hall of Famer in 2 out of 3 of the cells. Seems unlikely that we'd get a third, but you never know. Lenny Randall, Bob Apodaca. Oh, we got a bonus card. Interesting. Bob Nepper, John Urea, and Jim Essien. We got 5 cards out of that section. Huh. Well, I guess that gives some idea of the quality control anyway. Okay, so our Hall of Famer here, we've got another Mike Schmidt. Tim McCarver, very good long career. Steve Henderson and Willie Montanez. Or Montanez. Another excellent long career here, Rusty Staub. Floyd Bannister, Rich Dower, and Brian Downing. Third cell, Tom Hutton, Merv Rettenman, Gary Ross, and Terry Whitfield, so nothing special there. Now, these last two, we're down to 2 packs. They both had the same Hall of Famer showing. We have Jackie Brown, Vic Davalillo again, Ray Burris, Jose Morales. And our Hall of Famer is Tony Perez, Mike Garman, Joe Wallace, and Bob Ochinko. Willie Montanez, Merv Rettenman yet again, Jerry Grody, I think that's the first time we've had him, and Ron Bloomberg, we have had him. Okay, we're down to the last pack. So one of the things I want to say here, these 25 holiday packs, God, they must have cost something like about the same as the four wax packs. These holiday packs are very inexpensive because you probably have a lesser chance of getting a major card. They're not generally not necessarily in as good a condition, and there's only 12 cards per pack, but there's only, what, 14 or 15, I think there's 14 in the 78 wax pack, so it's not that big a difference. Rick Russell, we had Paul Russell, his brother, before. Hal McRae, that's a pretty good one. Steve Rogers, and Vic Davalillo. We must have about a half dozen of Vic Davalillo's cards. There's our Tony Perez, the second one. Alan Ashby, Doug DeCinces, and Bill Russell. Under a final cell, Tim Blackwell, Craig Swan, Craig Reynolds, and Bill Atkinson. So didn't really, we did okay. I mean, considering what I paid for all this, I guess we did okay. So we got a couple of Tony Perez. So we got a couple of Mike Schmidt's, Rod Carew, both his batting average leader card and his base card. Got a Jim Palmer and a Robin Yount, and our Tom Seaver with a wax stain. So what have we got here? This was about 350 cards or so. So probably a little worse than average, but we did okay here. You need a lot more cards to really. I mean, out of these cards, probably less than a 50-50 chance of pulling a Murray or a Molitor and Trammell or a Nolan Ryan, and it may not be high grade anyway. So not too bad. So that's the 1978 Topps Packapalooza. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.